Okay, year 11, I'm going to go through the 3 homework questions on finding unknown constants and identity. So the constants are A and B here in these questions, or certainly in this question, question 10, exercise 16.2. So there's our identity, and we want to get what B is and what A is. So again, we split our page into 2 halves. Left hand side, right hand side, and we write down underneath the left hand side what the left hand side of the identity is, and write down under the right hand side what the right hand side of the identity is. So if you take a look at each side, one side doesn't have brackets, the other side does. So start with the side that has brackets and get rid of them. So we're squaring a bracket, we're multiplying it by itself. So we go to the first term in the first bracket, multiply it by every term in the other one. So x multiplied by x is x squared. X multiplied by negative b is negative bx. Then we'll multiply the second term in the first bracket by each term in the other one. Negative b multiplied by x is negative bx. Then negative b multiplied by negative b is positive b squared. Minus bx and minus bx are like terms. They contain the same letter with the same power. B is in each and its power is the same. X is in each and its power is the same. So minus 1bx minus another 1bx is minus 2bx. And then plus b squared. So you can see now on the left hand side we have 3 terms, and on the right hand side we have 3 terms. The identity is telling us both sides are the same, so that means the first term in each side has to be the same, which it is. That also means the second term in each side has to be the same. So we've got an x term here on the right hand side, plus 6x. We've got an x term here on the left hand side. So what we do is we equate the coefficients of the x terms. So what I'm saying is this: the coefficient of the x term on the left hand side, which is minus 2b, has to be the same as the coefficient of x on the right hand side, which is positive 6. So equate coefficients of x. So you're going to get minus 2b is equal to positive 6. I would move minus 2b over to the other side to make it positive, and move positive 6 over to make it negative, and then divide both sides by the coefficient of b. So minus 6 over 2, that's equal to 2b over 2. 2's cancel on the right, you're left with b. 2 cancels with 6 on the left, 2 goes into itself once, goes into 6 3 times. Negative divided by positive is negative, 3 over 1 is 3. So you've worked out what b is. Now we need to work out what a is. So again, if you go to the third term in each side of the identity, those terms have to be the same. So we're going to equate the third term in each side. So equate the third term. In other words, set them equal. So plus b squared is equal to plus a. You've already worked out what b is, it's negative 3, so you're chucking that in here. So I would drop the signs. A positive times b squared is just b squared. Positive times a is just a, so you could even write that as b squared equals a. And then replace b with negative 3. So you're subbing in a number here that's negative and is going to have a power, that's why it goes in brackets. And then negative 3 squared means you multiply it by itself, so you get positive 9, so 9 is equal to a. So then we write our 2 answers beside each other. Answer: a is equal to 9 and b is equal to negative 3. So that should have been okay, that question. That was very like the example. So the flick over. So this is summary exercise 16, and again we're given an identity here, which means that whatever we have on the left hand side is apparently the same that's on the right, and there's 2 unknown constants, a and b. Okay, it's always a and b, the 2 letters here for the meantime that we're trying to find. So again, split your page up into left hand side and right hand side, copy each side under the title, go to the side that's got brackets and then get rid of them. because there's no brackets on the other side. So go to the first term in the first bracket, multiply it by each term in the other one. X multiplied by ax is ax squared. X multiplied by negative 3 is negative 3x. Go to the second term in the first bracket, multiply it by every term in the other one. So plus 2 multiplied by ax is positive 2ax. Then positive 2 multiplied by negative 3 is negative 6. Okay. Now, there's no like terms here, unfortunately. Now, here's the big problem. We have 4 terms on this side. We've only got 3 terms on this side. You'll notice that we've got an x squared term here and an x squared term there. You'll notice there's 2 terms containing x on the left-hand side. There's only 1 term containing x on the right. And then we've got minus 6 number term on each side. So we have to go to the terms on the left hand side that contain x, because there's 2 terms on the left hand side that contain x. We want to take both of those terms that contain x and transform it into a single term containing x, just like over here. So that's why you're thinking factorize. So quite simply, all we're going to do is take these 2 terms and factorize them. So factorize means you put brackets down and you lift out what's common. The only thing common to these terms is x, so we're lifting x out. Lift out common letter with lowest power, so lift out x. Then check by multiplying to get what goes in the brackets. X times what gives you minus 3x minus 3. X multiplied by what gives you plus 2ax. It's going to be plus 2a. Now, x is being multiplied by a bracket. We want to make this bracket the coefficient of x. In other words, we want to reorder the multiplication. I've said this before, you can reorder a multiplication because if you think about just simple numbers, 2 multiplied by 3 is the same as 3 multiplied by 2. Doesn't matter what order you multiply in. So in the same way, x multiplied by a bracket is the same as a bracket multiplied by x. So I'm reordering that as minus 3 plus 2a multiplied by x. That's important. Okay. So here's what we now have on the left hand side. We've got ax squared, and then we've got this term, so I'm just going to put a wee plus down, plus open brackets minus 3 plus 2a multiplied by x, and then we've got our minus 6. We've now got 3 terms on this side, and we've got 3 terms on that side. Now we can get a and b. The coefficient of x squared here is a. Coefficient of x squared here is 4. So if we equate coefficients of x squared, we can get a. So equate coefficients of x squared. So we're going to get a is equal to 4. So that's pretty straightforward. Just equating coefficients of x squared. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to equate coefficients of x. So if you take a look here, coefficient of x is this plus followed by the bracket. Coefficient of x on the other side is plus b. So equate coefficients of x. So we've got our positive multiplied by the bracket, and that's equal to positive b. You can drop the 2 positives here. Positive times a bracket is just this bracket. Positive times b is just b. So we've got minus 3 plus 2a is equal to b. You've just worked out that a is 4, so you sub a in here. Sub in a equals 4. So positive 2 multiplied by 4 is going to be positive 8. So you've got minus 3 plus 8 is going to be positive 5. And that's equal to b. And there you go. You've worked out a and b. So final answer, a equals 4, b equals 5. Okay, last one. So this is the exam questions on the same page as the last example, page 144. Again, we've got an identity. The left hand side is the same as the right hand side apparently, but we want to find the two constants here, the two letters given by C and D this time. So again, copy out left hand side, copy out right hand side, go to the side that's got brackets and get rid of them because there's no brackets on the left. So we're squaring a bracket, that means we're multiplying it by itself. So go to first term in first bracket, multiply it by each term in the other one. So we're going to get y squared plus dy. Go to second term in first bracket, multiply it by each term in the other one. Plus d times y is plus dy. Plus d multiplied by plus d is positive d squared. We have like terms here, so we can simplify them. 1 dy plus another 1 dy is plus 2 dy, so that's y squared plus 2 dy plus d squared. So the good news in this example or this question is that you have 3 terms on the right, you have also 3 terms on the left, so you don't have a different number of terms. There's no need to factorize here. So straight away that means the first term on each side is the same, which it is. It also means the second term on each side is the same. So that means the coefficient of y here must be the same as the coefficient of y here. So we're going to equate coefficients of y, and that's going to help us to get d. So equate coefficients of y. So we get negative 12 is equal to positive 2d. Divide both sides by the coefficient of d, which is 2 or positive 2. You get minus 12 over 2 equals 2d over 2. 2's cancel over here. 2 and 12 cancel. 2 goes into itself once, goes into 12 6 times. Negative divided by positive is negative. 6 over 1 is 6. And that's just equal to d. So there you go. There's d. So how do we get c? That's when you look at the third term on each side. So the third terms on each side must be the same, even though they don't look to be the same, they've got different letters, they must be the same. So equate third terms so we're going to get plus c is equal to plus d squared. Again, positive times c is just c, positive times d squared is just d squared. You've already worked out d to mean minus 6, so you sub that in here. So sub in d equals minus 6. So you're squaring negative 6. So you're subbing in a negative, put it in brackets. It's also going to have a power, put the power outside. That's the other reason why it goes in brackets, because it now has a power. You square negative 6, you multiply it by itself, which is going to give you a positive 36. And there you go. So again, write your answers beside each other. So C is equal to 36 and D is equal to negative 6.